I think the cappiness sometimes fell off balance to, the more thriller parts of the movie, which I already said. But, the thing with that is that it can be enjoyable because some of the performances are over the top. Kevin Bacon lays it on thick in this movie. He's fun to watch. I mean,
He doesn't have one gold tooth. He's got two.
He got two gold caps right here and there. And he's some old Cajun country-ass detective himself. I see you there, girl. People hire me because I'm the best at what I do.
I love seeing him play slime balls.
I love seeing him on screen.
I thought he was great. Here's a little thing about Maxine. Maxine Manx. Maxine, in the last movie, she had just lost her goddamn mind after having participated in a bloody massacre and one that she was almost killed in. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, on the bright side, she was also beginning to start her porn career. Mm-hmm. They were out in the country trying to shoot some country-ass porn movie. And 6 years later, after that, she's actually made a name for herself. She's actually in the business. But now she says, you know what, I'm just tired of people on camera for money. I want to go legit. I got talent.
I'm a star.
I'm a star. Shit. She wants to go legit. She's got the talent for it. And she just happens to get a chance in this movie called The Puritan Part 2. Mm-hmm. Some of y'all might have heard of it. It's a classic out there. Starring Maxine Meeks right here. Now, she's told several times about her genius director, Elizabeth Bender, who's played by Elizabeth Debicki. What the Debicki? We'll go with that. Elizabeth Debicki. She tells her, "You're lucky to be here. Mm-hmm. Don't f up." Mm-hmm.
Someone else is frothing at the mouth to be right there.
Exactly. But then, she says, I know that I'm lucky to be here and I'm going to do whatever it takes to make it. And if we know Maxine, she's going to do exactly that. She ain't going to let shit get in her way, which usually results in a lot of death and bloody death, mm-hmm. if you will. I love the first,
X.
X and Pearl. I love Pearl. I like X. Does this complete the trilogy for me right here? Is it a perfect trilogy? Is it up there with them apes? Let's go ahead.
Damn. not the apes.
The apes.
Not the apes.
The apes made them apes made the perfect trilogy. I'm gonna see if this hoe can do the same thing. Let's go ahead and get to our review of Maxine. That's 3 X's, baby, for porno Maxine.
Name 5 celebrities who got their start in horror movies.
Jamie Lee Curtis, John Travolta, Demi Moore, Brooke Shields, and
Maxine Minx.
You tell him, girl. Oh, country ass accent. Maxine Mike.
I love the way she says that.
I know you do. As I've told you already, the movie X, which is the one that started this trilogy, it's a 70s period piece. Like they go out to this southern small town in a even more remote area. It's kind of like Chainsaw Massacre, Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
100%.
Yeah.
It's a love letter to Chainsaw.
Yeah. And I thought that was pretty good. Pearl, which is a totally different movie in tone, which I'll talk about in a little bit.
And a prequel, right?
And a prequel.
Yeah.
I loved. Big fan of those movies, but I like a lot of things right here, man. So Mia Goth, who plays Maxine, I think she gives her best performance out of all of them. And I tell you why, because now in Pearl, in Pearl, she gave everything, including her goddamn mind. That performance was out there, man. Pearl was nuts. She's out there, scarecrows and everything. It's that character was insane. In X, the character was a little more subdued. Except for like near the end of the movie, because she was supposed to play sort of this shy girl who was starting to actually, find herself and this porn career that she's looking for. This movie here, I think, gives a more balanced performance with this character. She's not as unhinged as some of those other characters. She's not as shy as the character in X. I think, here she's appropriately pulled back because, thing is, Maxine finally got her big break. You know, she's finally going straight. And now she's working with a lot of professionals.
And it feels like an evolution of the character from the first movie, though.
No,
There's hints of that.
Yeah, you're talking about from X.
Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing about her, man. You know, so our country ass is trying to act like she got some sense. You know, she's told to shut up, and she does that. She tries to listen. She doesn't, you know, she tries to observe a lot, and she's trying to listen to more experienced people. But every now and then, something sets her country ass off, and she loses her shit. And then that's when that country comes out. You back with fucking with me? I'll kick your ass. And she's throwing shit. You know, you seen them old trailer trash girls, them white trash girls, getting kicked out, cops or something, getting kicked out of the trailer and throwing shit and things like that.
They'll just pick up whatever's closest to them, and that's the weapon now.
Or take off their shoes and throw it and shit like that. You know, that's the kind of character that that she is right here. But it's not over the top like that. You know, so I thought she has some moments where it is that character. She's gonna fly off the handle, you know, because that's what her country ass does. But I think this is a more nuanced performance, and I think it's a better performance. It's a more confident performance.
I think you bring up an interesting point, though, that the performances do feel very grounded, but there is an over-the-top nature to the movie, I would say. I was describing it as like a slick corniness, you know? At times, it was reminding me of Tarantino, and maybe that was because of, you know, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It had similar like moments like that, but the tone of the filmmaking really had this over-the-top nature to it.
No, it does. And now I'm gonna ask you something. Do you feel like that is a problem for this movie?
For some people, it will be. For me, I think that this is the best the director's done, like just filmmaking-wise.
Okay.
I think that story-wise, if you don't see this shit coming, you haven't seen enough movies. But this shit, it is beyond telegraphed. Like what I wrote down in my notes was that it's not like a question of who done it. It's how are you going to show me this in the next money shot? Like, what's that going to be?
And see, sometimes those money shots were too over the top for me because I like gore as much as anybody else. I like seeing bloods and guts and all that kind of stuff. But you know, it's there are certain times I'm like, man, you know, some of the over the top parts of this movie is either getting away with the story or it's not really gelling with the more thriller part of the movies.
Yeah.
Like, you know, one of the things, like I said with Maxine is extremely confident. She's ready for anything. Maxine walks down dark alleys just to test your ass. You know, she walks down dark alleys just to see what you're gonna do. And you better hope that crazy Maxine don't come out and be catching the alley because I don't want to spoil anything for anybody out there, but let's just say you can kiss certain parts of your male anatomy goodbye.
But you'll never get away.
Well, ain't nobody scared of that, dude. You know what I'm saying?
Goofy looking guy.
Run, but you got on. Dressed up in a damn hat. And
I'm expecting to start doing, hello, my baby.
Buster.
I was just playing around.
Well, we're playing now.
Motherfucker dressed like a 1930s apple cart salesman. Trying to walk down the alley and scare somebody. You know, this is that's the way that scene ends. It's a great scene. It's actually the tension in this scene is incredible. It's a well-directed scene. You know, where it ends up going, it just kind of, you know,
It's like y'all had to take it there.
Yeah, it's just kind of like, man, you know, there's certain parts in here which really work on this very great tension level. And then it just feels like when they take it to this extremely gory part, it kind of interrupted some of the, you know, I don't know. It interrupted the mood of that scene for me.
I can see that. I think that this is them doing that is what turns this into the love letter to slashers that it is.
Yeah, no, and I like that. No, I do. But see, that's one of the things that I like about the other movies. See, with this movie right here, like I said, I enjoyed this movie. I did. So don't think I'm sitting up here talking trash about it. I did like it a lot, but it's my least favorite of the three.
Interesting, because it's my favorite, and it made me want to go revisit the other two.
See, I'm the same way as you. It's my least favorite of three.
You know what? Let me ask you why. Why is it your least favorite of the three?
See, it's like I think the suspense really is what did it for me in this one, because the suspense is so to me, it's like it's so bad in this one. And it's just like I was like, okay, I'm kind of getting taken out of this one. Like I love the movie, but I'm really kind of getting taken out by certain things. I'm like, yo, this is very, very predictable. And like I said, I still love it, but it's just a lot of stuff I see coming. I'm like, all right. The other ones, it was. I just say when it comes to the other ones, like I was really enjoying it a lot more than this one.
Yeah, I'll tell you why this is my least favorite. And I like it, but I'll tell you why I don't like this one as much. First of all, it's a bigger movie in scope because it has more characters, has more subplots. I don't think it's as lean or as focused as the other movies. And I think a part of that is that this does a lot of nods to its influences.
Oh, specific ones too.
Yeah. Now, if you're a cinephile, then again, you're somebody's gonna love this. For me, I felt like the nods in this were they were good, they were obvious, but they were something that though they were probably too obvious. So there's obvious nods to Hitchcock in there. If you've seen some of Brian De Palma's movies, it reminded me of movies like that, like Dress to Kill or movie, what's the other one? Body Double. She's like, well, I'll take the next elevator. But, have you ever seen Dario Argento? Mm-hmm. There's some movies he does that are supernatural, then there are movies that he does that are, more thriller types, gory thrillers. This kind of reminded me of that. Like he did a movie called Opera that made me think about this film.
Are the unrehearsed players. Be able to close your eyes.
I actually have seen this movie, and it made me think about this movie
nasty.
a lot. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
nasty body horror, boy.
Yeah, and this made me think. This reminded me a lot of this movie right here. As I said, man, that's good for cinephiles, but it's kind of doing that thing for me, like in Tarantino movies, where they obviously stop to talk about film.
Oh yeah.
Because Tarantino loves to talk about film, and for me, sometimes it's good. For me, sometimes it takes me out the movie. Sometimes it's too upfront. It doesn't feel natural anymore. And so, that's not a bad thing because that's just something for me. I don't think that's going to bother other people.
And the reason why it worked for me is because it takes place in Hollywood. Like, it's not like they're just happen to be going to a motel and it's Bates Motel. It's like they're on the set of that movie.
Yeah.
That's why I could see that. That's why I could get that. But, for me, I think they also could have taken the approach of those things could have been there, but they didn't have to stop and just make them so, so obviously, talked about it. They didn't have to make such a big deal out of a reference. Because I'm thinking about movies like X, man. With X is definitely influenced by, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But it didn't make all these references to Texas Chainsaw Massacre. It didn't have characters like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. What it did was it used that tone to actually just tell its story. It didn't have to do any kind of any kind of fan service or any kind of nods in there. Same thing with with Pearl. That's why I love Pearl so much. Pearl was great because Pearl just took a totally different tone from X, and what Pearl was about. It was about a girl who is wanting to go after her big dreams, and so they kind of made it like those movies of people teaching, going after the big dreams, like those movies in the '40s, Technicolor films. Mm-hmm. Except it's a very twisted, sick, and violent take on those movies.
Dancing up on the screen like the pretty girls in the pictures.
I will not let you leave this farm again.
It used the tone of those movies to tell the story. It didn't have to make any big references in there. So I think that's what I liked.
And it was an original concept within itself, that it wasn't a backstory on like the main girl. It was like backstory on basically what ended up being the killer.
Yeah, exactly. So, and that's one of the things with the movie that also got to me. I think it's just kind of off balance in certain ways. I think the cappiness sometimes fell off balance to, the more thriller parts of the movie, which I already said. But, the thing with that is that it can be enjoyable because some of the performances are over the top. Kevin Bacon lays it on thick in this movie. He's fun to watch. I mean,
he doesn't have one gold tooth. He's got two.
He got two gold caps right here and there. And he's some old Cajun country ass detective himself. I see you there, girl. People hire me because I'm the best at what I do.
I love seeing him play slime balls.
I love seeing him on screen.
I thought he was great. Like I said, some people, it might be a little thick But
what was it thick?
no, he was. What you mean thick? I mean, like I said, shit. If anybody was chewing scenery, he was treating that shit like a buffet, boy. He's great in the film. He's actually having he's having a good time.
There's no really bad performances.
No, it's all great performances in here. You know, it's sometimes you'll have something where it's true tension. It's working on that level, almost grounded level, and then this over the top violence will happen, and it just kind of threw me off a little bit. Or you'll have characters doing something weird or something strange, and it's just. And it'll end up being more funny than shocking, which sometimes they intended to happen. You know what?
I think what kept it grounded for me, and it is campy at times, I think that it's honestly because the practical effects are so good in this. Mm-hmm. Like, they're some of the best I've ever seen. Like, some of these bodies that you see, it's like, that looks pretty real.
Yeah. No, the effects, the makeup, all this stuff is good in this. All of this looks convincing. All of it looks great.
Even down to like the blood, and it makes a statement about it. There's like a little joke about it.
Yeah, and and I'll tell you the reason why the over the top parts of the movie are the references. Why that probably got to me a little bit more probably than you is because, and again, like I said, it's a personal preference. I love it when this movie settles in on this atmosphere of the 80s. I love it when because it kind of settles in and feels comfortable and natural more than anything in those areas. I love the sleazy LA adult districts they show here. JD and Justin know about those places right there. They can tell you all about that. I love the satanic panic that they were doing. That was a big thing in the 80s. Some of the music in here is great.
Oh, yeah.
Cinematography is very nice. But again, it's the atmosphere that is there to serve part of the story. It's not meant to it doesn't feel like it's pushing everything out the way. And and also with that 80s feel I was telling you about, there's some characters that just fit right into it. I love Giancarlo Esposito.
He gave a new type of performance, you know what I mean?
He ain't playing the chicken man no more.
Yeah.
He ain't for once he's not playing Gus Fring.
Yeah,
he's actually, because everything he's Gus.
Yeah, he's always good, but even on The Boys, it's like, man, you're just Gus.
You're Gus. Yeah. Here he's a
is that what you call that?
Yeah.
Is that what his casting call was for?
Casting. We need for this role, Ray. Can you do this, sir? Yeah, because he came in and talked like this. Kind of making this kind of racist.
Well, that's why I'm that shit.
We're gonna get you a role, girl. If I gotta go to jail for you, I'll fight for you. I'll dance for you. No, you just
it's like, what's this movie you're writing?
Come on, Rocky. I don't know why.
And in the vampire movie Abigail, he was Gus in that.
Oh yeah, he was. I forgot he was even in that.
Oh yeah, he was Gus in there. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like in this movie, he's like, God damn it, I'm tired of doing this. So he actually plays something else, man. I'm giving you these criticisms to just show you how I thought those other movies really captured what they were doing very well. This one just feels a little off balance for me more than the other two. But you know what? I still enjoyed it. I would watch this with a crowd of people if I could at the theater, especially people that enjoy these movies or people that enjoy campy, over-the-top gore films and horror and whatnot, even though this is somewhat of a mystery thriller. But yeah, so I did like it. I recommend it if you like, if you like the other two movies. This is. I think you would at least enjoy it. I don't think you'll walk away disliking it. But yeah, you'd either be like him and like this would be your favorite. Martin said it was his favorite, or you probably would be like me and be like it's my least favorite. I don't think there's going to be any in between though.
I had to think about it, and it's the reason why I kind of want to go back and revisit the other two, because this one had more like of an artsiness to it. Like there was more stuff that I thought that they were saying. Like it speaks to just Hollywood in general to me, and because I'm an actor, like I found this character a little more relatable, and I could see her drive, and I got it.
Okay, gotcha. So you know what? Continue with this more, and then yeah, damn, what you doing way over there? Continue with this, and then we'll give our ratings.
So look, you know what kind of sucks is that I saw what Martin said before I even went to go see this movie. Like I was driving home from Dallas, or I was driving to Dallas, and I was like listening to y'all review, and Martin was talking about how this is his favorite of the three. So I'm like, I'm walking in with such high hopes. So maybe that's what kind of hurt it for me, because I'm walking in like, okay, it's gonna be the best of the three. I can't wait for this. And I was just watching it. I'm just like, damn, I'm predicting everything that's really
Damn it.
I got scared for a second.
You thought that was cool.
I got scared for a second.
They already got JD.
But yeah, I was just predicting every little thing that would happen. But I will tell you guys, man, y'all talking about Mia Goth's performance, she blew me away in this one. I'm like, yo, she is amazing. I think she was a producer on this one too, right?
She was producer on the last one, I think, too.
Was she?
Maybe, I don't know.
She might have been.
I think she was,
Okay.
but yeah,
But she, oh my gosh, she is, in this whole entire series, she's just so good. Didn't she also play the grandmother in X?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, she's great.
Every role
She's amazing.
she plays great. But not even her. It was just everybody, all the supporting cast all did great. Like there was no bad performances in my eyes. The gore in here, I absolutely loved it. It reminded me of The Boys a little bit. Like there's a kill in there where I was like, damn, that looks straight out The Boys. But
Yeah.
I can't. You might know what I'm talking about.
Is it near the end of the movie?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
A shotgun.
Yes. Yes, I know exactly.
That was a reference to another movie. That's how I saw that.
Really? So what'd you give it then? Since you got the last word, sir.
Look, it's not up there with the other two, but I'll probably give like a matinee.
What would you give it, sir?
So I think that it's one of those movies that if you look beneath the surface, it's really talking about Hollywood, and like it's also doing it in a way that's kind of mean-spirited. You know, like this movie is mean. These characters kind of suck and they're mean. And maybe that's just because I'm a mean guy and I just
You
really...
are not. Don't you even try to play like that. You ain't no mean guy. The sweetest man in the world. Don't ever play with you like that. I'm a killer. You know you.
But I like the attitude that this movie had, where it really like has a chip on its shoulder, and the filmmaking is what lifts this up for me. I'd give it a very bottom of the popcorn bucket, low full price.
All right.
Makes you dig in there, get all them kernels out.
All them kernels up in there and then good
buttery bits.
It's also a movie where this guy's right. Everybody's putting in a great performance, and there's a lot of people in this movie. It's a big cast. It's a great cast, and there's some people who don't have parts as big as the others. But Ty West, the director here, Ty West is known for doing a lot of great horror, a lot of gore, a lot of twisted humor. But he's also great with actors. The guy's a really great director.
Oh yeah.
And with this movie having more of a cast in it, there were people in here who, like Bobby Cannavale,
I'm glad you brought him up. I loved him in this.
Yeah, he doesn't have a huge role in the movie, but for what he has, he's giving some great lines. He's giving some cool stuff to do. So it's one of those movies where everybody's actually putting in something good here. Everybody has their moment. And it's also, like I said, man, I'm talking about how over the top it is. Even though I don't think it gelled well with some of the more, again, suspenseful parts, or maybe took me out of the suspenseful parts. Some of it is actually really funny. So if you like some of the dark humor that Ty West has put in his other movies, that stuff is still here in this movie too. I think it's just a little, it's even more over the top and crazier than the last movies. And it's hard to get crazy than this shit right here. Yeah. So,
oh, no, they do it.
But they do it. Yeah, they do it. That's the thing about this. Pearl, that was the whole movie, man. The whole movie was camp. Mm-hmm. The whole movie really, it felt like the movie was not taking itself seriously.
No, not at all.
Parts of this movie feels like it's taking itself actually seriously, which is a good thing. It feels like the movie actually that was what would separate it from some of these other movies. That's, we're kind of a more serious thriller. But no, it's still, like you say, it's almost like The Boys in some areas.
Yeah.
So for that, it works. It just doesn't work as a whole for me. It works in parts that really don't click. But it's still a lot of fun. And like I said, I would love to watch this with a crowd because
Did y'all not?
Well, no, I did. But you know what? I would like to be. You know what? I watched it with a crowd that even cosplayed. There were two girls where they were dressed up like Pearl.
I wouldn't want to see that shit. I'm fucking cosplaying as Pearl.
You didn't dress up? You didn't put your dress in two pigtails and go to the street.
I missed out. Nah.
You got the moist lips like that.
There you go. Bro.
Nah, man, it was fun. No, watching them, see, it's that kind of thing. The screening that I went to, it was a second screening. I might even been a third. So there was a lot of people that had already seen it. So the crowd, the theater wasn't full. But man, if I was watching it full of people who were at like a late night screening, and we were all drinking and acting stupid and laughing at some of the crazy parts of this, that would be a lot of fun. So I'm with you, Julian. I'm gonna give this a matinee. Yeah. Yes, no, that is respectable. Some people gonna be mad because they want it to be higher, but I got to stop right there. But like I said, You know, if you like the other two movies, yeah, watch this. You need to.
Thing I liked the most about it was that it wasn't exactly what I was expecting it to be. And you're right, though, it does have a great sense of humor about it.
Yeah, no, it's bizarre. You know, it's crazy, just like those other movies.
I don't know about y'all, but that ending started taking me out the movie. I ain't gonna say what the ending is, but when it happens, I was like, what the?
Is it what I think it is? The reveal?
Yeah, the reveal. Yeah,
yeah, it is.
I mean, that was just very obvious to me.
Yeah, but that goes on me saying it's predictable.
Oh,
but
yeah.
like when it happened, I was like, what the?
Like I said, the movie is predictable, but they still manage to find ways to surprise me. Like, it's like, this guy's definitely going to die, but the way that they kill him, I did not see that exactly coming. And that's what kept me going with
Very
it.
specific characters that showed up, like, first 5 minutes, I was like, oh, he did.
Yeah, exactly. That's where it was predictable. I'm like, yeah, brother, you know. You black, you know, 80s slasher throwback. Yeah, come on, man.
You ain't going to make it.
Yeah. But people saying not perfect trilogy, but well-rounded trilogy.
Yeah,
I would hope so. It would be if they stopped. I heard they're making a fourth.
That makes sense with the ending. I could see this going for too long, to be honest.
Well, you made it to the end of the video. That must mean you really like what we do. So if you do, check out these other videos just like this one. Check out our other YouTube channels and subscribe to join our wonderful Toasty community. And as always, stay toasty.